And I was sort of shocked to read that the Pope is the guarantor of fidelity to the gospel. Um, we were talking when we were talking on the phone. Um, we were both sort of talking about our wake up points
Yeah.
because I was a very hard line right wing conservative Catholic, and in a lot of, I mean, I'm still a conservative. People call me a Marxist, and I'm like, yes, I'm one of those humanae vitae Marxists that everyone's. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I was warned about you. I was told you were a modernist Catholic and not to listen to you.
And I was reading different commentaries on different blogs, and there were people arguing about, well, that doesn't really count, or they had these differing ideas of what constituted torture, or whether you actually had to listen to this document because, well, it wasn't infallible. So, and so I went to a priest. I was working for the USCCB at the time, and I think it was a little bit before, um, Francis became Pope. So it was like 2011, 2012, and I'm like, and it's a really weird experience to work in a building with like 10 priests, and then you would go down to the cafeteria and have these off the wall, you know, theological, spitball sessions and ask questions. And so a priest that he's my older daughter's godfather, but he worked there, and I asked him, how do you know when the stuff that the Pope teaches is heretical or not? Like, because I had just been listening to all these voices, and he looked at me like I had three heads. He's like, what do you mean?
What brought that on?
And I'm like, well, like some of his teachings, they don't really line up with tradition. And he's like, that's not, and he showed me several documents, and I was sort of shocked to read that the Pope is the guarantor of fidelity to the gospel. And it sort of shook. I thought that all these people online, they had access to some book somewhere. Like, how do they know what the church really teaches when the Pope is supposedly teaching heresies half the time? And I didn't, somehow I just sort of thought the magisterium was like some abstract. I never really
Yeah.
thought about where does it come from? What's the basis of that?